Welcome to this new video where we're going to talk a little bit about Forza Horizon 6. Because today, I'm going to share with you my opinion on the game's first two seasons, the launch seasons. Just a reminder, in Forza Horizon 6 seasons change monthly. The first one was released on May 21, 2026, the second one arrived on June 18, and now we're entering the very last week of this second season. And unless I'm mistaken or there's a last-minute change, season number 3 should start on July 17, 2026. I don't know if I'll share my opinion at the end of every season, but let's just say this time, I am. These are the key launch seasons, and they're important because that's usually when a game's developers put in extra effort to make sure it does well in its first weeks and months and stays popular. And if you're interested in my opinion on the different seasons at the end of each season, you can let me know in the comments. Just like you can also share your personal opinion in the comments about the first two seasons of Forza Horizon 6. What did you think about it? Did you like it or not? Maybe there are things you liked, things you didn't like. Even though my opinion of Forza Horizon 6 hasn't changed, I'll be honest, I was quite disappointed with the first two seasons. First of all, because the festival playlist system is basically exactly the same as in Forza Horizon 5. So, yes, in Season 2 we don't have exactly the same events as in Season 1, especially because they've brought back the head-to-head system, which was called the Trial, back in Forza Horizon 5. But the concept is exactly the same, meaning that every week, we end up with events that are still pretty repetitive. That is, 2 or 3 seasonal championships, 2 or 3 speed traps, danger signs, or trailblazers, 1 or 2 multiplayer events, monthly rivals, all that. That earns you points. The points unlock new cars. And basically, it's been like that since Forza Horizon 4 in 2018, and it hasn't changed one bit. So that doesn't really bother me, because at least, since I've already played Horizon 4 and Horizon 5, I know this system very well. And so, when you know the system well, it's pretty easy to unlock all the new stuff very quickly. I can also say that I think there are quite a few players who are discovering Horizon with Horizon 6. And for them, well, it will really be the first time that they're introduced to the festival playlist. So for them, I think overall it's pretty positive because there are still a lot of things to do. But in addition to the fact that there hasn't been much change, I really think that the content added by these two seasons isn't very interesting. I'll cover Season 2 mainly, but also Season 1, and summarize all game updates from the first 2 months. Let's say Season 1 was still okay, because even if there wasn't any super innovative or super original content, there was still a lot to earn though. Season 2 has content that's not very original, and, on top of that, there's a lot less of it. It's much less interesting in terms of quantity compared to Season 1. Honestly, in terms of content, I think the first season was pretty okay. We got the Toyota Altezza RS200 to unlock right in the first week. It was a car that players had been asking for a very long time. We also experienced, and I agree, my first disappointment with Forza Horizon 6, the addition of the Mitsubishi. The Lancer Evolution 9, which is right here, unfortunately has exactly the same customizations, and is even less powerful than the Mitsubishi Evolution 8, which was already in the game and is also much easier to get. We got the 1989 Toyota MR2. Now, I can't really give my opinion on it. I haven't even tested it because it's not really my kind of car. We also got the 2021 McLaren Sabre. We'll talk more about this McLaren Sabre later. I made my own video about the Equinox, but actually the car is so unremarkable that I didn't release the video. The Pagani Huayra R, which was actually a really good surprise. It was pretty fast in Horizon 5, but now, in Horizon 6 with the new game physics, it really makes for an ultra-cool car to drive. The Ferrari 296 GTB was also available to win. I sold it since I rarely used it, but it was cool, even though it returned from Forza Horizon 5. And another pretty cool little thing the first week of Forza Horizon 6. The Ford F-150 Lightning, which is very powerful, and on top of that, it's a nice little reference to the first Fast and Furious movie that's quite enjoyable. So, for the first week, I tend to say it looks pretty cool, even if all the cars I mentioned here, except for the Ram Rebel, are cars returning from previous Forza Horizon games. Honestly, they were cars I really liked. The following week, we were able to unlock the Nissan GT-R 33, which strangely isn't one of the cars you can buy at the dealership, even though you can buy the R32 and the R34. It's a nice car, but it's a Forza Horizon classic. So I have to admit, I don't really understand why they made it a super rare reward when we've always been able to get it in every Forza Horizon. And with that, even though the car has been slightly updated, it doesn't have any new customizations, and it's not particularly well equipped in that regard. There's the 1991 Honda CRX, which I haven't tried because I'm honestly not interested. So, the Abarth 695 Biotope, same thing. I haven't really tested it, I haven't made a video about it, even though I think it's actually a pretty fun car for RP. And there you go. It's a car that was definitely necessary to have back in Forza Horizon. The Aston Martin DBX, which I used for the introduction of this video, Squeezy's SUV. The Chupan 962 CR, which I haven't tested yet, is supposedly a good car, but it's also known for causing save-related bugs for players. The Nissan BE1 was affected by a bug. By the way, we'll discuss bugs later, since there have been several in these first 2 seasons. Along with the Lamborghini Huracan Evo here in my garage. It's nice and much faster than in Horizon 5. So it's the same here. I would tend to say week 2 was pretty nice, even if there were maybe a bit fewer cars that I liked overall, and this time it was only returns from previous Forza games. There really wasn't anything new. During this winter period, I think this was the season with the least things that interested me. We got the Subaru STI 209 as a reward. So it might be nice for some people who are fans of Subaru, especially for those who, back in the Horizon 5 days, couldn't or didn't want to pay for the DLC because it was a DLC car. We got the Toyota Arctic truck, which I don't think I tested because it's not really my thing. It's the same, it's a vehicle with 0 new features, so it's not really that exciting. The Lotus Emira, same thing, still haven't tested it because it's not that exciting either. The Datsun 2000 Roadster. Maybe I should test it, maybe there are good swaps for it, maybe it's a good car, but it's the same. I haven't tested it because it's not really something new either. Ferrari Roma, haven't tested that one either. It didn't really appeal to me. The Renault 8 Gordini is really fun to drive, great for rally, and enjoyable with a wheel. It's nice to have a new little French car, even if it's returning from older Forza games. We got the Lamborghini Countach twice, including in Season 2. We'll discuss that later, since in just 2 months the devs have already recycled content extensively. The Lotus Exige 430 Cup. So quite a few little sports cars this season. The Renault 8, there you go. Pretty nice, but nothing special, I think, this week. The following week, so the last week of Season 1, we got a real little novelty. The Toyota Glanza, which is a car we've never had before in any other Forza Horizon or Motorsport. So it was its first appearance in Forza, which is pretty cool. I didn't test the Corolla SR5, it's not for me. The Ferrari F355 Berlina, an old car that we've literally had in every Forza, and the Maserati MC12, which is really cool to drive, but it's not a new addition either. The 2021 Mini John Cooper Works, which isn't new either. And the Saleen S7 LM, which is a DLC car from Forza Horizon 5, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't tested it either. It's not my thing. Plus, this season had 2 other free cars to unlock. The Mazda Furai, which could be unlocked throughout the whole season, and for once is a really good addition. Even though it's not new in the history of Forza, we haven't had it in many Forza games. This is one we haven't had in a long time. And above all, it's a beast. It's one of the best cars in the game, so it's really fun to drive. As for the Nissan 370Z, I have to admit I didn't get it. I didn't understand why they put it as an update reward because basically it has the same customizations as the 370Z Nismo, and it's less powerful, so it's not really that exciting when you unlock it. The real new cars this season, if I'm not mistaken, are the Toyota Glanza and the latest generation Ram Rebel. Everything else is returning from previous Forza games, and unfortunately, well, I don't mind, you know, that there are cars coming back from older Forza games. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. Unfortunately, my criticism here is the same as with Season 2 and some paid DLCs, which we'll talk about later, is that, well, all the new cars coming back to Forza that return week after week were intentionally removed from the game when it launched. Exactly, so they could keep fueling this cycle with content each week. Well, I was hoping that at least some of them would have a little bit of new customization, new body kits, new performance parts, or new details. Let's say something a little out of the ordinary. I don't know, new features. Things that would simply make those cars a little more interesting. And overall, that's not the case. So, an acceptable season because there are a lot of new things to unlock, but in reality, well, as you can see, there aren't really any real new features. And above all, it's a season where we've already seen bugs return. Some Forza Horizon 5 bugs still haven't been fixed. Remember, I told you about the Nissan B1 that was bugged. Well, that's because as early as the second week of Forza Horizon 6, in the second week of the first season, there was a bug in the festival section that made it so, for example, during autumn, if you had done missions, during summer, if you had done food delivery missions, the game counted them as completed for the following week, since there was a food delivery challenge. And so, when you got to the following week, the right week when you were supposed to do those challenges, well, they were already pre-completed in advance, you couldn't complete them again, and the game didn't understand, so it didn't give you the reward. That annoys me, since we already knew about these bugs during the Forza Horizon days. Above all, I understand the game is complicated, huge, with many menus and features. But I'm pretty sure it's impossible that the developers weren't aware of this problem when they did the various tests. For the season, there you go. It's certain that at least one person must have had this problem and it wasn't fixed in time. And then, the first season is also the season where we saw the return of the save bugs in Forza Horizon 5, with players who suddenly found themselves affected, especially because of the Chupan 962 CR, even though I think that's not the only reason. Save files that suddenly, overnight, ended up with completely corrupted Forza Horizon 6 saves, and with everything they had accumulated since the game's release lost forever. And that's not cool either. Because, well, it's a bug we already knew about since Horizon 5 or even Horizon 4. Loss, sync, and save bugs, well, they've existed for at least, let's be generous, but at least 8 years on Forza Horizon. So yeah, that doesn't look good. It's not too serious yet, but it doesn't look good. Well, anyway, in terms of content, for Season 1, let's say it's okay thanks to the quantity, but not the quality. Unfortunately, for Season 2, I think things have gotten a bit worse, because we've lost both. We've lost both vehicle quality, even if a few are cool, and quantity. We had to face a first problem, actually, with Season 2, which is that the developers had promised it would be the end of FOMO. FOMO meaning fear of missing out. It was the fact that on Forza, Horizon 4 and Horizon 5, there were temporary rewards. There were rewards to unlock every week. Once a season ended, it was impossible to get those rewards. Sometimes you had to wait months or years for developers to offer them again. It's a mechanism that's honestly really annoying, and the players have said so. The developers explained that there would be no more FOMO in Forza Horizon 6, except that the only way they found to limit FOMO is to put the rewards from Season 1 back in Season 2. For example, here, you see, at 40 points in the first week, we had to unlock the Lamborghini Countach, which was already a reward from the previous week, well, from the previous season, and the same thing the following week. We have the Chupa 962 CR. The following week, we have the Ford F-150 Lightning. We already had it in Season 1, actually, all the rewards that were unlocked this season. 2 at 40 points are cars that we already had in Season 1. I hope this isn't their final way to handle FOMO. If Forza Horizon stays like this, it'll be disappointing. Already, the car rewards with the points are much less interesting since, well, we already had half of them. In the first season, there were some cool additions, like the Golf Rally 89 in the first week. That's a real novelty since it's never been in Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport, which is nice. The following week, the TVR Cerberus Speed 12, also pretty cool, because it's a radical car that's still quite historically interesting. The next week, the Dodge Ram SRT 10 cool, because, well, it's a V10 pickup with a Viper engine. You can't go wrong with that, it works well. And the following week, a 2017 Mercedes GTR same thing, big German GT, V8 engine. I think the cars bought for 20 points were pretty well chosen, even if, well, there were very few new things there too. The only real new one is the Volkswagen Golf, whereas in Season 1, we had between 5 and 7 cars to unlock each week. Well, in Season 2, that's over, you know. If we look at all the other rewards there are to unlock, I don't know, the 88 M3, the S1, the Hammer. Whatever you want. These are cars that are already in the game and they're not particularly rare. You see what I mean? And they're not very hard to get. Some cool cars are available to unlock, but most return from earlier Forza Horizon games, and there are still fewer cars to unlock overall, especially since, and this is a little thing that very few people noticed, they actually managed in Season 2 to bring back some rewards in Season 2. They said, well, it's for the players who couldn't get them in Season 1, but they really didn't think their system through. I think it's the Countach, for example, the Countach in the first season of Forza Horizon. Without multiplayer, you couldn't unlock it since it was a reward from a multiplayer event. So if you lacked Xbox Live or Game Pass, you missed out. They brought it back in Season 2 for players who missed it in Season 1, but now it's set at 40 points, and you can't reach that without multiplayer, so it's still not much better. Nothing too crazy, even the overall rewards for the season, they're returns from older Forza games. You see the Porsche Lightbow here, we had it in Motorsport 7. On top of that, it's not even from that long ago, you see, we had to unlock it just last season, so yeah, it's a pretty poor season in terms of content, a season where. Plus, well, there was the famous Illuminator bug, where because of a money glitch we were deprived of the Illuminator mode for, I think, about 10 days. Again, it wasn't handled well, even though money bugs and glitches have always existed in Forza. So, a Season 1 that was okay, and a Season 2 that I think wasn't great in terms of content. Now, let's quickly talk about the DLC cars, since there were also DLCs that arrived at a rate of 1 per week. 1 new car in the car pass each week for players who had the car pass. And here too, there are things that are cool, but there are things that aren't cool. The first one, Scala Scalextric, is nice. It's a car that's really cool to drive. Even though, overall, well, it's true that aesthetically, it looks a lot like a normal R33, it doesn't have much more customization. even though it's a car that's totally different to drive. But, well, let's say that's pretty okay. The following week, the Gamera, which is an absolute monster and I think a very anticipated car in Forza. So that's definitely something to be happy about. The week after that is the Datsun, which has amazing handling, a bit of a niche race car, but pretty nice. The week after that is the 2008 Civic Type R, also a very, very niche car, not very well known, and there's not much to say about it. Other than that, even though it's cool. So that's it for the collection. It's a bit niche, so I can't blame the game for trying to add some niche cars. The following week, they give us a 2023 Audi R8 V10 Coupe, which isn't much different. With the Audi R8 that's already in the base game, free for everyone, except this one is rear-wheel drive. But you can upgrade it by switching it to all-wheel drive. Since the S1 game meta is all-wheel drive, this isn't very interesting. Plus, it lacks new customizations. So the car I would mention the week after is the Mazda Mad Mike, which is really good for drifting, but no customizations and not much else. No surprises. The next week, I was excited for the Nissan O-Tech, a niche R33, but ended up disappointed. While I appreciate the devs adding niche cars, there are no customizations and it's not that fun to drive. So it was a letdown. And to finish, the GR Corolla, which is nice, but I don't know if this opinion will be shared by many other French players because it's a car that isn't sold here. This DLC is somewhat hit or miss. While none of the additions are bad, I think the R8 didn't do well. But yeah. Some DLCs are a bit average sometimes. Sometimes they're really good, but overall they're not amazing. For these reasons, I have to admit I'm disappointed by the first 2 seasons. That said, I think and hope I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is why the release timing of Forza Horizon 6 kind of worked against it. Actually, usually Forza games come out at the end of the year, and it's true that historically the first 3 or 4 seasons of all the Forza games have always been really, really good. This time, the game released just before summer, and we all know Forza Horizon's summer updates are terrible. Usually, those are the worst updates the game has offered, for the simple reason that there are 2 things to consider. The first is that they know very well that even if the game made a lot of noise when it was released, they know that, in general, summer is a time when players are the least active. That's just how it is. Players play more when it's cold than during vacation when everyone is off here and there. So, let's just say it's not the best time for them to release updates. Really solid. Because, well, they know it's going to slip under the radar a bit. And the second reason is that in the summer, the developers are on vacation. It's as simple as that, just like here. You know, it's the same in the United States. When it's summer, people take time off, and the devs go on vacation too. So, of course, the updates aren't as great, especially since they just finished developing the game right before this. So, obviously, a large part of the staff had to go on vacation after crunching hard to make sure the game was really debugged. So I think for these 2 reasons, we can understand why the content isn't amazing. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Season 3 and 4 content isn't great either, since it's the same situation. Summer, especially July and August, are the worst months for gamers and usually see a big drop-off, so we shouldn't really expect anything crazy, even though I could be wrong, you know. All I want is for the game to prove me wrong. I'd rather have the devs announce something amazing for Season 3 in a few days than be right about this. But in my opinion, these are launch seasons that unfortunately happen to fall in the summer, and I don't think we'll have much to look forward to before then. Probably September, October. I think early November as well. We're likely to get something pretty big before the release of GTA 6 probably around that time, between September and November. The release of the PS5 versions, and I think they're also going to take advantage of this PS5 release to do something pretty big. It's not bad. Let's just say that when you've played Forza Horizon 5 or Horizon 4, you know what bad seasons are. There have really been some terribly bad ones. Those who experienced the 10th anniversary season of Forza Horizon or the extreme season on Forza Horizon know what a bad season is. It's just disappointing. Let's just say it's disappointing considering these are launch seasons, but compared to the other summer seasons we've had on Forza Horizon so far, it's honestly acceptable. A little disappointing, but understandable. Let me know what you think, whether you're new to Forza Horizon, a longtime player, or have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments and leave a like on this video. It always makes me happy. For anyone still tempted to give Forza Horizon 6 a try, for those wanting to buy early, hoping it improves in the coming months, don't forget that you can get it much cheaper. Through my link below this video, you can pay 40 euros less. If I'm not mistaken, the premium edition for example, so feel free to use my streaming link to buy your games. It supports my channel. Feel free to follow me on Twitch, where I live stream every Thursday. We play the seasons with viewers and test new features when available. Feel free to use your Prime on my Twitch channel to support me. I'll end here and see you soon for a new video. Bye.